we've had to really look at, because of our lack of players, with graduating so many, starting the spring a little bit later, so our young guys have more time to develop with Jeff, and then we're out there practicing. Somewhere around 60 guys right now, so we've had to look at the type of practice we structure and making sure we're getting really quality reps for our guys so they can grow without putting them in harm's way. And I think we've done a great job of that. Obviously, Jeff's doing a great job of getting our team ready. So, through 10 practices right now, knock on wood, healthy for the most part, and feeling like our team's getting better every day, which is good. We have a really good balance of veteran guys that understand what it took for us to pull that off a year ago. And then we got an influx of younger guys that are really hungry to, make a case to be a part of that. And so there's a natural competitiveness there that happens. The young guys are trying to make their mark, and the veteran guys are trying to bring it all together. And so there's been some really exciting practices. Today was really exciting because it really went back and forth, and a lot of new faces making some impact. So I think we're building towards where we want to be. Obviously, we got a long way to go, but really pleased with just the environment we've created and the competitiveness of the practices. I think throughout spring, defensively, the corner position's been really, really cool to see. Really had 3 new guys show up here in Ty Richardson and Trey Carr and Drew Cofield. And, you're hoping you can improve the position. You lose a lot of guys to graduation, and I feel like all 3 have joined Jacob Horn to create some real competitive days out there at those spots. So I think that position defensively has been really cool to see that. Guys like Rain Mayo and Jake Williams, and they're taking hundreds of reps a day because we don't have a lot of D linemen right now because of graduate. We got a lot of guys coming in the next couple weeks. So I think those 2 guys have a chance to be really good next to Trent and Clayton, who are veteran guys that have played a lot. So been pleased with that defensively. Offensively, I think it's been the growth of our O-line. David Portisano, kind of a highlight of a guy that's been pretty outstanding as a redshirt freshman guy, playing tackle right now. Been really impressive. I thought the receivers today showed, we're just going to be a lot faster than we've been in the past. So sometimes these plays that would have been 10-yard plays a year ago or 30-yard plays now with Sam and Zach and Stacy. And then you saw us rip off a long run with Jordan today and Carter and his physicality. So I think our skill positions have got a lot more athletic and more speed right now, which is cool to see. I think that going back and forth has been a good battle. Yeah, that's great. I've been yearning for that for a long time. I wish I had it with Jake, although I don't know if he would have listened to me. But it's been cool, especially when you got quarterbacks that haven't played a lot, and there's obviously going to be some nerves and maybe some indecision, and you're just hoping to eliminate that with some of the ability to talk to them before the snap and just kind of give them some reminders and some tips to be successful. So that's been fun. It definitely solves some issues in regards to communication. So I had a chance to do that when I was at Cal a little bit, and that's been fun for the quarterbacks and for our defensive guys to hear Coach Coombs be able to give them some tips and stuff before the snap. I think is helpful.
Who's wearing it on the defensive side?
I think the linebackers, basically, the inside linebackers are wearing it, and then Rex. If we have a young linebacker, then Rex will wear it. It's been a good battle. I think the one thing that I'm bummed out about is because we have a smaller number, we really can't do 3 groups. And so because of that, a guy like David Razor doesn't get as many reps as I'd like to try to get him right now. But Grant and Caden are going back and forth. It's been a good battle. Today was similar to kind of how all camp's been. They seem to have some really good moments, and then they have some moments they got to get better at, which you'd expect right now. So they got a good environment in that room that Paul's building where they are competing. They're trying to kick each other's butt every day, but they also support each other off the field in the classroom and things like that. So I think they're both getting better, which is what we want. I think we have a bunch of good ones, which is a better problem than if you have no one that you feel good about. I would love to name one at the end of spring, if we feel comfortable with that, because I think it's important to have that done in the off season. So from a leadership standpoint, but if it's too close to call at that point, then we'll push it into fall camp if we need to. but I would love someone to grab it. And like I've said, normally the team chooses the quarterback, not the coaches. You can kind of tell who the team rallies behind. That's just what you hope you do as a coach in general, that year to year you try to evaluate who you have. And then, I think a good scheme evolves around the players. It doesn't make the players evolve around the scheme, So when we had Keelan Doss here, we were going to figure out ways to throw the ball to the wideouts a little more. And when we have Land here, we're going to figure out a way to get the ball to the running backs a little more. And, you play to the strengths of the quarterbacks you have. And so the exciting thing is every year's new, and you kind of see what kind of chess pieces you have, and, who's the queen going to be, and, who the rook's going to be, and who the bishop's going to be. And you kind of figure out, how to best set up an attack-minded deal and figure out your quarterback, what he does well, what's your O-line strength. So I think that's a fun part about being a coach. I was talking to Jerry Brady about that, about just his D-line, how he's really been with those guys for 4, 5, 6 years, and then they graduate, and now you got to raise some new ones, and see what they do well. So I think it's just part of coaching. Cool part of college is, you're going to get, new guys every 3 or 4 years that you got to start from scratch and build up and figure out what they do well. So I'm excited for that group offensively to see what they can become, but I expect it to look different for sure. He's in a great spot. I think he proved, obviously would have loved for him to be healthy to do the Senior Bowl and Combine, which he was invited and those kind of things. But if you look at him as a person, he gets surgery and 11 weeks later he's doing the pro day. That's another example of just Land and his determination to be great. So I've talked to, I don't know, 15, 16 NFL teams in the last 2 weeks about him. I think he's in a great spot because I think he gets either drafted, 5th, 6th, 7th round, or, he probably hopes he's a free agent, to be honest, because then you get to kind of pick where you go. And everything I'm hearing is if he doesn't get drafted, he's going to have at least a dozen teams that are trying to bring him into camp. So he'll be able to negotiate that with his agents and figure out the best spot for him. I think if you really want him, you don't want to go through that, you're going to need to draft him, and that's what I think will end up happening. I think someone will not want to go through that, and they'll end up drafting him in one of those rounds, which I think if you get him, like I've told everybody, you're not going to let him out of the building. I think he's a perfect NFL player because he's going to provide value on all 4 special teams, and I think he's still got some great growth as a running back that he could become even better than what he is. So I think he's an exciting guy to bring into your program. Yeah, I think the guys that stood out were David Meyer, number 1. David had a tremendous day, ended up having 26 reps on the bench, which equaled Teddy Buchanan. So the 2 most reps at bench were 2 Aggies, which speaks to Jeff Burke's greatness. But David ran well. So I think him showing that strength is important for him. So I would expect him to get into a camp. Evan Bearden had a great camp to the point where at the end, NFL scouts were coming up to him and trying to talk to his agent, and Evan doesn't have an agent. He was thinking about going to become a fishing guide probably in Sonora or something. So I'm excited for Evan. And then Trent ended up running one of the fastest shuttle times of the last few years at the pro day. So wouldn't be shocked if a few guys get a look. I know Miles is planning to go to Canada to play in the CFL. We're excited for him. So
He was ripping it out there.
he did have a great day. I know a couple NFL teams might bring him into camp too. So I think those guys showed well, and obviously I think it's just sheds a spotlight much needed on Jeff Burke and how tremendous he is, and just how prepared our guys were for that day. It was pretty phenomenal. Yeah. Coach King, I try to call him Coach King, so I don't call him Day Day anymore, because he's a grown man now. He's mature, but yeah, I think anyone that's watched our team the last several years knew how great Devin King was, one of the true great Aggies of the last decade. So to have him in our secondary and our defensive staff, and he's such a great recruiter, and he's got a great love of teaching. I think he's got a great future as a coach in this profession. So we're just proud to have him back, and he brings some good energy out there. He might have hurt himself today celebrating on one of those interceptions. So, but it's great to have him back. I just think that we're trying to really grow this program right now. It's relationship with our student body. It's relationship with our community, and the spring game, I hope, can become a yearly day where we can celebrate that together. And so last year, we ended up, getting 1,500 people, I think, in the stands to come watch the spring game. Man, I'm hoping we can double that this year, and then double that the year after that. And, hopefully we can build a consistent situation every spring where, hey, we come out on a Saturday and we'll have a DJ here, we'll have food here and drinks here, and we're going to let the kids run on the field and be with the team. And we're going to, for a team, number one, we want to show our love for our community and our students, and hopefully show that if you guys come out and support us, we're going to give you a great product. And then the other part is just using that as the last practice really for us to get better before we start preparing in the off season. So it'll be similar today. We can't really line it up and just scrimmage for 100 plays with the numbers we have, but we'll do some regular football, and then we'll do some situational stuff, and then we'll invite students down and have some competitions, and if they win the competition, they could win some money or win some stuff for their fraternity or sorority, and we'll try and get that all set up. And again, hopefully the community can bring out all the younger kids, and they get to come on the field and meet the players and hang out and sign autographs after. And so I'm hoping we can keep building that relationship through that day. And I just really hope everyone takes that opportunity on 4 o'clock on a Saturday to come out and just have a good time with us in Shredville here in the stadium and enjoy supporting these guys. And then when that gets over, let's all hightail it over to the baseball field and watch Tommy and the boys get a dub. So.